What's up, Pirates? Ray Talks here with Awaken TCG, and today we have a video, and it's going to be a Doflamingo deck profile list. So I've been messing around with the green purple Doflamingo for a while now, and I kind of want to show off this deck list that I'm going to be running. If you're watching this video, I should be live right now. Go ahead and click on my channel and go to my live stream. I should be live right now. Come say what's up. But I'm going to be playing this deck at the PPG Online Regional. And so, yeah, let's just go ahead and get right into the deck list. So for starters, we'll go with 2Ks. Obviously, we have our 4 choppers. Excellent 2K. It's searchable. And then, obviously, in the law matchup, you can play it. It says, arrest one of your opponent's character with 2 or less with Dawn ×1 when attacking. And so, sometimes you can actually play this in the law matchup, especially if you get second and then you have this in your starting hand. It's not always bad. It does feel bad when it gets vistaed, but laws tend to not really run Vista. I know some run some for the mirror, but usually you won't see it. And so in the law matchup, searchable 2K, doesn't get better than that. This is our next set of 2Ks. It is Buenafesta, and Buenafesta is our film searcher, so search top 5 for film. If you get this card in your starting hand, you kind of always want to play it turn 1, unless you have like a god hand and you already have, you know, a Luffy Nami combo and like Uta, or just like I don't know, if you already have like a crazy combo in hand, then maybe you can save it as a 2K. But for the most part, it is very good to search for the cards you need, as this deck is majority film. And then obviously it's a 2K. And then this Buenafesta is also searchable from the Nami effect. So those are our 2Ks, just our Buenafesta and our chopper. And then we'll go into our events. I run 1 Union Armada as a tech card. Sometimes when you verse decks with big bodies and they're trying to clear your board, this is amazing, because if they have a big mom on board, they're trying to kill Grand Tesoro or something, you know, just pop one of these, it lives for the whole turn. Unless they thunderbolt it and lose a life, maybe they don't have a life, whatever, etc. Trigger, ramp 1 Dawn. So it's basically the same trigger as Thunderbagua. Early on, really good. If you're going second, you get that 7 curve, 1 turn early, which is honestly very game changing. Obviously, once you're maxed out, this doesn't really matter. But if you get it early on Dawn, ramp 1 Dawn, it's pretty insane. And then I run 2 Baguas just for the ramp effect, mainly. I run 2 Judgment of Hell. This card is Dawn -1, -3000 to 2 your opponent's leader or character. And so I think this is probably the best defensive card event in the deck. Obviously, it's -6000 for 2 Dawn instead of +4000 to your leader for 2 Dawn. It's -6000 of your opponent's power, but obviously you have to do 2 units. But more often than not, they have multiple units to swing with, and so this card just gets insane value every time. You're at 10 Dawn when you play this. You're always going to be at 10 Dawn the following turn. So probably one of my favorites to run. I know some decks don't really like it, or some lists, but I'll abide by that card. That's probably one of my favorites. We have 3 Punk Gibsons, obviously great in Law, great in Zoro. +4000, rest of 4 or less. If you're going to go for a game, you can set up lethal with this, resting a blocker. Very versatile card, tried and true, one of Green's best events. Next up, we have Spiderweb. So this is the new OPO4 event. +4000 restand. So it's a 2-drop of Paradise Waterfall, which is a one cost event +2000 restand. This is a 2 cost for +4000 restand. One of the better cards in this deck, because you have a lot of blockers and you can combo with like Uta, get double 5-drop rest if you wanted to. Block a big attack. If you're blocking with Luffy, you can block 2 10k swings. Let's say Law's double attacking, you can boom, block with Luffy, pop this, go to 11,000. Now you have your Luffy up again if they're trying to go for game or things like that. And then next up, we have basically our staples in the deck. We have Sugar. So this card right here is probably one of the best cards in this deck. It just lets you set up so much with this card here we're going to talk about later. Sugar is just an insane card. Not only do you get a rest of 4 or less on play, on your opponent's turn, you're resting whatever you want. And so playing this right before your 10 drop turn is nasty work. Like, this card just sets up so much and gives you so much value at all times. Yeah, can't say enough good things about this card. Definitely a 4 of staple. So obviously we're running that. Not too much to say about this one. We know what it does. We know the power that this card holds. I'm running 4 of. Rest your opponent's leader, characters, whatever, just insane value. And then chaining these is always going to guarantee you game. Next up, let's go into our film package. We have Nami, so we're running 4 Namis. This card early on gives us hand advantage, gives us more cards to block with. It finds us our Luffys, it finds us our Utas, whatever we need, right? So 4 of Namis, more search. So now we have 1 Hephaestus to search, we have 4 of these to search. Allows us to really see the cards that we need every game and just gives that consistent value to the deck. So next up, we have 4 Uta. Another staple in this deck, Dawn -1. On block, rest an opponent's character with cost 5 or less. This card just gets insane value. Obviously, you don't want to use it too early sometimes. It can really hinder your Dawn management. But besides that, this card is insane, especially when you get multiple out with Luffy. Your opponent can't really do much, and they just have to, take the rest sometimes. Obviously, Luffy, it's going to play our Utas, it's going to play our Namis, it's going to play our Bins, which we're going to talk about here in a second. Monkey D. Luffy, this card here is probably, the best card for this deck. It's like the engine to get you started, right? Turn 4 at 7 Dawn, you just go ahead and pop a Luffy, pop a 6K body or a Nami search if you have 8 Dawn. So much versatility that this card brings. If you need an extra blocker, you can put it. If you need a searcher, if you need a Bins. Let's go and talk about Bins. I know there's a Zoro Film Vanilla. The reason you don't run Zoro, I mean, you can run 1 of, but like I wouldn't run, is because a card like Buggy exists. Obviously, there's I know some Kuro list ran the 3/5 Buggy that can't be KO'd by Slash, but that's not why we are worried. Why we're worried is because Buggy and Zoro, right? The Searcher, the 1-drop 3K. If we have a Zoro on board and we need to swing that Zoro to KO the Buggy, obviously it's a very like niche circumstance, but like the Zoro won't be able to KO it. Like what if he has 2 Buggies on board and you have leader and a Zoro, right? So it's like it's not possible. And so that way you run Bins. Bins is special, doesn't run into that issue. An amazing card to have when you Luffy into a Bins. You increases your chances of winning against Whitebeard because 6K body instantly allows you to swing into the Whitebeard. You don't need to attach a Dawn. And then so that is basically besides the few tech cards in events and the few tech cards that I'm going to show you here, most of it was just staples. So staples, the 2Ks are staples. These big bodies, sugar staples. All the film package is basically staples. What you can do is some people, instead of running these, they'll run Brooks to do like Luffy, Brook, Nami, Luffy, Brook, Usopp, Luffy, Brook, Baccarat. But that's up to you, up to your discretion, your testing. I like these Bins because there's a lot of Whitebeards, and so these Bins just make that matchup so much more enjoyable, easier to play. And then for my 5 drops, I run 1 Diamante. It's a great card to play. Obviously, it'll get popped, but a card like this doesn't do anything for you early on because you don't want to swing with it because then it'll, they can swing at it back and KO it. This card, you can swing with it because you're going to restand them anyway, right? So this has a little more value than this earlier on in the game. We run 1 Diamante. We run 2 Tesoros only. This card is a big bait. Decks like blue, decks like yellow. Oh no, not yellow. Decks like blue and red where they can just get rid of this. Even I would consider even a deck like Rebecca, where if you play this, it just gets removed instantly. You just wasted 5 Dawn. At least in a card like this, we're still getting our draw effect even if it gets KO'd. And so, for that reason, I do run 2 Queen. So I like to split it up: 2 Tesoro, 2 Queen, and then our 1 tech Diamante. Obviously, Queen is a great blocker, gives us our plus draw. And then our last tech card that we actually run in this deck is 1 9-drop Kaido. I have won games with it. Funny enough, at first, I didn't really enjoy it. But the more I played it and the more and more games I saw where I actually used this card to to really just win out a game, I started becoming a believer. And so now I run one of, you never know, like maybe if you, maybe in a situation where if you have 2 10-drop Dofis, but that is not the play, or like if they play around your 10-drop Dofi and you have this card, it's such a great alternative. It can KO a blocker, swing at life if you're going for lethal. It can KO a blocker, swing at one of their characters if you're trying to clear board. It just, this, obviously you do have the minus 5 Dawn, which does hurt, but by the time you're playing this, it should be in a situation to where it's like you're either setting up lethal and you can't die if you play this, or you're literally getting lethal that turn. So I do run one of Kaido. That is going to be it for my deck list overview on what I'm going to be running tomorrow in the regional. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's go into that live. Wish me luck. Say hello to me. I'm probably in a match right now, or I'm just chilling, about to play a match. And so, yeah, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, guys. 1,000 subscriber giveaway is definitely upon us. So don't forget to miss out on that. Don't miss out on that. Yeah, subscribe to our channel. Like this video for me. I'd appreciate you guys if you guys really did. Next week is looking like VV for our locals Friday video. So I will be playing VV and, you know, trying to sauce up some of our local players. But yeah, like this video. Comment down below what you think about my deck list. I'd really appreciate some feedback. And yeah, you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.